All right, everybody, it is 8:30. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Dusty Duncan. I'm a Sapphire Ambassador on the Freedom Team, and tonight we have a great call for all of you. Tonight we're going to hear from 8 fabulous people about their business testimonies that they have gained from starting their plexus businesses. So this call is for anybody that is curious about the plexus business, whether you're already an ambassador or your new potential on the phone line. So we're very pleased to have each and every one of you on the call tonight. And we have ambassadors ranging from all walks of life on this call tonight. People that live in the country, people that live in town, people that are new to the business, and people have been in it for several years. So guys, without further ado, I am going to introduce our first speaker tonight, who is Senior Gold Ambassador Nearly Ruby, Jimmy Lee Nitzo.
Hi guys, I'm from Payson, Arizona, which is a small town. I signed up as a Plexus ambassador back in September of 2013 with no intention of working this business. I had been on the products for about 3 weeks, and I knew that I was not going to stop taking them because of the impact and the changes in my health. So I decided to just start up for the price, and I accidentally ended up with some customers and accidentally ended up with some ambassadors and thought, maybe there's something to this. So I decided to give it a shot, start posting about it, and quickly my income replaced the income that I had had 3 years prior to this. I had quit working in the home health care field because my health was so bad. And so this job just literally fell in my lap. And the fact that I could help out with the bills. That next summer, we took a family vacation to San Diego, which was huge for us because we hadn't done anything like that. And I was able to pay for that through my Plexus income. And then on top of that, I won a trip from Dusty, my upline, to Las Vegas. And my husband and I went on that. And that was the first time that we had gone anywhere without the kids in our entire marriage. So that was amazing to be able to do that. Other places that the company has sent me, I got to go to Leaders Retreat last year, which was in Orlando, Florida. And I'm getting ready to go there again next week. Not in Florida, this one's in Washington, D.C. And on my way there, I'm actually able to afford to go to New York and help out some of my team there. And that just amazes me that I've got the money to be able to do that, and that my health is good enough for me to be able to do that. I've been able to take some of the weight off of my husband's shoulders, helping out paying the bills. This year when it came to back to school shopping, I was able to cover that with my Plexus income, and that was just huge to not have to stress over that. Normally my mom would give me the money to do that. So it felt really, really good to be able to do that for my kids myself and do the extras with them. It's been beyond amazing to be able to do this and to help people, help my family, help my friends, and to have an amazing team and an amazing upline to do it with. I thank the Lord every day for bringing this into my life, even though it was something that I wasn't looking for. So I'm going to turn this over to the next ambassador, who happens to be one of my amazing upline, Jeannie Stratton, who is a Senior Ruby ambassador.
Thank you, Jimmy Lee. Amazing job too, by the way. And thanks, Dusty, for putting this call on. Hello, everybody. And yeah, I am Senior Ruby Ambassador, getting really close to Emerald. So super, super excited, anxious, all the above. A little bit of background on me. We have 2 boys, my husband and I, ages 6 and 8. And it took us about 7 years to have these amazing little boys. And so big thing for me was I wanted to stay home. I'd always worked full time. My goal was to stay home with these little boys. And I had a part-time job that I found, but it was, you know, really tough making ends meet, but we did it. We did it whatever it took. But I ran into where my part-time job was funded with grants, and they told us that possibly the grants were going to go away. I may or may not have a job this month, that month, this week. You know, that was really tough on us not knowing. So it happened to be, we kind of prayed quite a bit about this because my husband and I were thinking I was going to have to go maybe possibly find a job outside of the home, which scared me to death because my youngest was not in school yet. So the last thing I wanted was to have to, we had just moved down here to Wilcox, Arizona from Payson, and we didn't have family down here. I did not know what I was going to do with him, and I just wasn't going to be there. And so it's amazing how prayers are answered, because that is when my best friend Dusty called me and told me all about Plexus. Of course I joined, and very thankful that I did, because that month is when they told us that, you know, we're going to have no funding. You know, I'm not going to have a job for a month. We'll see what happens the next month. So thankfully that month, I kind of like Jimmy accidentally put it on Facebook and got some customers and some ambassadors, and I ended up getting a $200 check my first month. That was like $2 million to us that month. It was tremendous. So huge blessing. And I thought, oh my gosh, I didn't do anything. This is too good to be true. So we got word that the funding was back. So I continued to kind of work for my part-time job here and there as I could, and working my Plexus business because I started to see the potential in it. And I'm glad I did, because the next month my paycheck had doubled, and that was tremendous for us even more. And the next month, same thing. So I thought, oh my gosh, this is the real deal. So finally, after a little bit of time, I was able to quit my part-time job because it was really stressful on me, that job anyways. And I could see how much I love doing Plexus, helping people. This is what I wanted to do. It was amazing. And making my own schedule, having my own hours plus working for myself was big. Not working somebody else's dream and building their dream. It was mine, getting my own bonuses, my own raises. Pretty cool. So I saw the potential with Plexus and ran with it. And I'm super glad I did, because I had no idea it would be this amazing after almost over 2.5 years now. We were in a lot of financial problem. We had hit rock bottom at one point in time right before all this came into our lives. So we were crawling out of that. And this has helped us get on top. And that I am so thankful for. But the biggest thing is because it's kept me at home with my boys. Both of them obviously are in school now. So I'm able to go with them on their field trips. You know, I can go and pick them up if they're ever sick at school. You know, I'm just there for them all the time. My boys go to school 4 days a week. So we have Fridays off, which is amazing. I get to be home with them on Fridays as well. That's our fun day, as well as the weekend. But that's amazing to me. One big thing I wanted to share with you guys, one last thing, was a huge, big goal and dream of my husband and I's came true, and not long ago. And since pretty much our whole lives, we have always dreamed of having our own cattle. And when we had our boys, our dream was, for the last 17 years, we have talked about it together of us being married, that we wanted our boys to have that chance to start their own herd. We wanted them to have that lifestyle. It's just something that was so passionate in us. And we were able, 7 months ago, we were able to get our own place and buy cattle. That was all because of Plexus. That was huge, 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 huge. Without words. It just filled our heart with so much joy. Now I get to watch my little boys go out. They get to work their cows. It's such a blessing. So my point to that too is that, you know, when you have dreams and stuff, you just have to follow them and things will come true, because we have bigger dreams. We want to own a big cattle ranch. You know, we want my husband to get out of his job, and in the very near future, that's going to happen. So I am super excited and anxious to see where this takes us in the next, few months, years. it's still very surreal to me, and I still have to pinch myself daily, but it's possible for anybody. Never been in network marketing before. I didn't even know what that was, network marketing, before I started Plexus. So it's been amazing. But thank you guys for listening, and I am going to introduce our next guest, which is Senior Gold Ambassador Joe Zook.
There we go. Sorry about that. I had to hit the unmute button there. All right. Thank you so much, Dan, for that. And good evening, everyone. I am Joe Zook, and I'm a Senior Gold Ambassador with Plexus. And first of all, I want to give you a little bit of a background on my wife and I. We have been married for 13 years. We have 5 adorable kids, and we do homeschool. But we have had a dream for many years to be able to, work together from home, do our own business, and we've tried a lot of different things off and on, and I'll talk about that a little bit later. But one of our dreams has been to run our own cattle, and it looks like in the very near future we're going to be investing in some cattle of our own, and I have done a little bit of that over the past few years. But I'll go to the start of my journey with Plexus. It really started in September 2013. And at the time, I was working full-time on a large cattle ranch in northwest Oklahoma. And, while I love everything about ranching, I was tied to a boss with a schedule that I didn't care for. I had very little time with my family. And at that time, we had 4 kids. And, of course, like I mentioned, we do homeschool. So it was really tough to be there for any of their activities. I mean, I just really had no time much at all with my family. And the ranch I worked on covered 17,000 acres, and my boss and I were the only full-time guys running it. So if you can imagine what that's like, I really had no time with my family. And of course, it was tough, and I was always on the lookout for a better option for my family. And so one night, my wife came home from hosting a party with another company that she was a part of. And she told me, "You're going to sign up with Plexus." I was like, "What's Plexus?" So she proceeded to tell me about someone that she had met at the party. And I believe she had also seen some posts on Facebook about it. And so she met this lady at a party that had some amazing results, and she just thought, we need to try this. And so she told me, I'm going to sign up. And I thought, well, I'll tell you what, I will look into it a little more. So I did some research, I found some testimonies, and realized, you know what, there is something to this. There really may be something to this. And so I started to dig a little deeper, especially into the comp plan, and realized that I've never seen anything like it. And, I'd been in network marketing on and off for about 15 years. I've seen a lot of different comp plans, but I've never seen anything like that at all. I'd even got to the point with a lot of these network marketing companies, I thought, you know what, I will never, ever touch another network marketing company with a 10-foot pole. I've been burned. But I started to realize that it wasn't the network marketing company's problem. It was my problem. I hadn't had the proper training and didn't realize the way that it worked. And so it was basically just not being educated with what network marketing really is all about. But, I'm always looking for great opportunities, extra streams of income. So we decided to go ahead and give it another shot, and so we bought a 7-day trial pack, tried it for a few days, and we shared the 7-day trial pack, and we were hooked. And of course, I wanted to be able to buy it wholesale. I don't like to buy retail if I can avoid it. And also wanted the opportunity to be able to possibly sell something for $34.95. What did I have to lose? So I jumped in, and my wife and I started taking the products, and soon we were seeing some pretty amazing results. Sleeping better, just hormone levels being taken care of, skin issues. But anyway, that's a story for another day. We've had some amazing results from the products. But it wasn't really until March of 2014 that I really decided to get serious about the business. And we started growing the business, started talking to people about it, and we've been growing ever since. And our growth has been slower than some, but we have grown steadily. And, but I couldn't make it to where I am today if it weren't for the grace of God, for my wife, my family, and my amazing team that supports me all the way. My wife and I work this together as a family, and, as a couple, we've been, it's been a dream of ours, like I mentioned earlier, to do something from home, to work together, and this has just been an amazing opportunity for us. One thing that we have really focused in on the past several years was to bring freedom to people, whether that's financially, whether that's through health, through wealth, through relationships, any of that. And Plexus has given us the perfect tool to be able to do that. That's what we do, and we absolutely love it. And of course, I love the time freedom that I now have with my family, working my business from home. We have traveled together as family. We've done a lot of things that we normally wouldn't have been able to do. And of course, that's always really cool. And the really cool thing was just a few days ago, less than 2 weeks ago, we had a brand new baby girl. And she's adorable, by the way. But cannot begin to tell you how amazing it was to be able to take time off, as much time as I needed to help with the baby and get readjusted around the house. That takes a little bit of readjusting to get used to that. And I was able to be here for all of it. I didn't have a boss yelling at me to get back to work. And of course, even now have a bassinet in my office. I really think that makes a great addition. Some people may not like that, but I think it's really great. So I just want to tell you guys, any of you guys that may be skeptical about this whole Plexus thing, jump on board. I mean, I don't think you can't go wrong with this. $34.95. It's a pretty minimal investment for what you can get out of it. And the relationships, the friends that we have made through this is just phenomenal. It really has been one of the best decisions of my life, and I cannot imagine life without it. So anyway, that's pretty much my story. I could go on and on for a long time, but I will call it quits there and go ahead and introduce you to the next amazing ambassador, one of my upline, Nikki Shala, and Sapphire Ambassador with Plexus. So go ahead, Nikki, take it away.
All right. So you guys have all, okay, maybe it's starting now. So you guys have heard all these amazing testimonies, and what I'm hearing is freedom, freedom, freedom. And everybody has a different way of freedom, but I'm seeing it. And I started my opportunity of a lifetime, and I know that sounds cheesy and it's so cliche, but it truly is the opportunity of a lifetime of March 2013. I was that skeptic. I thought things like this were pyramid schemes. They were just out to get me. They were going to make money off me. They were fake. This stuff did not happen. I said all that typical stuff. I was also the person that all I thought you needed to do was eat right and exercise. That's all you need to do to lose weight. Even though I was struggling with like the bloated belly look when I was pregnant, and I wasn't even pregnant. And so finally, after 3 months of being stubborn, I finally decided to join or ask about Plexus. And when I found out it was only $34.95 to join, and I was going to buy a welcome pack that was cheaper than staying at the Best Western, guys. I mean, to invest in this is cheaper than a night stay at, the Super 8 or the Best Western. We spent money on way worse, doing things that were not any kind of investment. So $34.95, what do we have to lose? I mean, that's a no-brainer to me. And I started immediately. The day I signed up, I started posting about Plexus immediately because I was going to make my money back. And these products probably were not going to work for me, but I was going to get my money back that I invested into it. And needless to say, I started losing weight. I was always a runner. I always ran, and I always ate moderately healthy, but I could not get rid of my belly. And as I started taking the products, I started losing the belly. And another thing I started doing that I didn't think was really going to happen, I started making money, guys. This is truly a game changer. I started making money. I eventually ended up replacing my teacher's salary. That is so surreal. I never thought in my wildest dreams that this opportunity was going to lead me to replace my teacher's salary. My husband, he works full-time for himself. He's self-employed. He's a farrier, a horseshoer, and but our income left us paycheck to paycheck. We could never get ahead. My kids rodeo, we rodeo, that's their hobby, and it's very expensive. Well, pre-plexus, we could never afford to have them on competitive horses. This opportunity has brought us the financial stability to be able to buy them the horses they need to compete on. Pre-plexus, family vacation was the next rodeo. Our family vacation was going to that next rodeo, and I was going to find something fun to do in that town for my kiddos, and we were going to make rodeo memories. And as a parent, I mean, what I'm about to say may sound materialistic, but as a parent, you want to be able to provide the little family vacations. I mean, every kid dreams of going to Disney World. Well, guess what we got to do last year? We got to rodeo all year. In the past, to go to Disney World, we would have had to not enter rodeos probably all year to save up for Disney World. We got to do both. My kids do not have to give up any sacrifices, and we were able to take them to Disney World. Doesn't sound like much, but that was huge for them, and it was huge for me knowing I was able to provide that for them. I had to make notes here because I get distracted easily. And because of Plexus, this July, one of the biggest things that we've been able to do was on July 10th, we were able to close on 60 acres with an older farmhouse on it, training facilities for my husband. My husband's dream job, he loves being able to train colts. He loves to start colts and get them going, to send them off to whatever discipline they're going to do. Pre-Plexus, our income, because he's self-employed, would have never, ever looked like we could afford something that we were able to purchase now. And because of this Plexus opportunity, because of this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, because I thought this was a pyramid scheme, but I went ahead and tried it, we were able to purchase land and get my husband the facilities he needs to live his dream. My kids can now go in the backyard and ride in our arena, whereas before we were driving 20, 30 minutes down the road to get to the next arena to practice that and hope there wasn't a ton of people there in our way. And so now we have the ability, my husband can do his dream job because of Plexus. We now have another stream of income coming in doing what he loves. Because of Plexus, my kids can now go in the backyard and practice without, driving 20 minutes, 30 minutes down the road. Had you told me 2.5 years ago this is going to replace my teacher's salary by leaps and bounds, I'd have laughed at you. I would have thought you were crazy. And to know that that is really happening, to know that this is unlimited income, our potential is just whatever we make of it, to know that I have people in my downline having the same success that I'm having. It's not just me having success. It's not just Joe having success. It's not just Dusty or Tammy. Everyone is having success that is doing what we're doing. And it is our success is up to us, and you can do, the sky is the limit. When we say we're not selling a product, we're not selling a product. We are selling hope. We are selling hope that maybe you can reach your dreams of health, wealth, whatever it may be. And I'll go ahead and shut my lips and introduce the amazing Derek Duncan.
Well, I don't know how amazing I am. I'm just a normal person. But thank you, Nikki, for that. I'm going to back up here and give a little history on me. About 10 years ago, I was just a cowboy. I was running 2,500 head of steers for a guy that, I didn't like Joe. I didn't like his schedule. We worked 12, 14-hour days regularly and very little time off. I had young children, or a young child at the time, that I wasn't seeing very much of. And he would be going to bed when I was coming home, and he's still asleep when I left in the mornings. And so I decided there's a better way of life, I guess. And I got what I thought was my dream job at a horse trailer dealership, or a horse trailer manufacturer that I won't mention who that is. But in 6 months, I moved up to being a salesman. I thought, boy, I'm really on my way now. I thought, this is my dream job. I'm going to do this. Well, what I realized is I was missing I was 200 days on the road, traveling to dealerships and talking to people, and only hearing about stuff from my family over the phone. I was missing kids' birthdays. I was, it really wasn't all as cracked up to be. And one night at dinner, somebody said, "Why do you like this job so much?" I said, "Well, I was there 6 months. I'm already a salesman." And he said, "But where are you going to go?" And I thought, you know what? You're right. Where am I going to go? I don't, I'm not a member of the family. I can't move any further than this. This is the best I'm going to do here. I'm 25 or probably 30 years old, I guess, at the time. This is the best I'm going to do. And that, and spend all this time on the road the rest of my life. I don't want to do that. So I got to be an entrepreneur. I started trucking business. Well, if anybody's ever started a business, they know there's a ton of inventory, whether it's trucks, material. I had to put $100 or 100 gallons of diesel in it a day just to go to work and then wait to get paid on it. And, when things got slow, those bills still came in and I had to pay them. And so, and the only way to make that one work is you had to get behind the steering wheel and make it go down the road, or it wasn't going to make it. So there's more time away from family. And so I guess my whole history, it all revolved around, sorry, she's distracting me by doing something here. Revolved around me not being happy with how much family time I had to miss to be successful at something. And so anyways, the trucking company was in 2008 when everything took a hit, was, headed downhill. So I got the opportunity to go run a transportation company for another guy. And I jumped at that. But there again, there was nowhere to go. What I was making is what I was going to make forever. And, there may be minimal increases with cost of living and stuff, but really not. And even with all that said, Dusty in February of 2013 decided that she was going to go to a meeting at Tammy Elmore's house to discuss a pyramid scheme, so to speak. Or that was my thoughts at the time. Okay. I was dead set against it. I'll just tell you right now, I didn't want no part of it. I said, if you like the products, take the products, use them, whatever. But do not sign up to sell them. We are not going to sell snake oil. And so she comes home from the meeting. Tammy lives an hour away from us. She calls probably outside Tammy's house and says, "Well, guess what? I signed up to be an ambassador with Plexus. Bye." And she hangs up because she knew I needed an hour to cool down before she got home. And I said to myself, no, you did not just do that. I was upset. About 2 months later, by the time she got home, I'd gotten over it, and I still had a chip on my shoulder. And don't think it just went away. But we were able to talk about it and carry on. And about 2 months later, she said, "Oh, by the way, I signed you up too." Oh, I was mad all over about that deal. But let me tell you, that was February 2013. January 2014, I was able, let me back up. October 2013, she quit her job to become a full-time Plexus ambassador. In January 2014, I quit my job to become a full-time Plexus ambassador. And the things that we have seen and done are just amazing. But I'm back up for just a second. The reason I told you all that history stuff was basically to tell you I've had every job, an array of jobs. I feel like I've done a lot of things in my days, and none of them compared to what I'm experiencing right now as far as the family time that I get, the flexible schedule. I'm not on anybody's time clock. My results are a reflection of how hard I work at it. And Dusty's results are a reflection of how hard she works at it. But we're not living other people's dreams. You know, when I had those other jobs, people had these dreams of growing their cattle operations, and you know, my bosses were buying big expensive boats, and you know, I wasn't riding on their boats, and you know, but I was the one out 200 days a year while they're at the lake on the weekend with their families, and I just knew there's a better way of life, and through this plexus experience and this opportunity, we're experiencing that better life, the life that, you know, we dreamed of, which is, you know, to be at home with our children, raising our children. Not our children are not being raised by their grandmother or their great grandmother, and that's what we wanted. We wanted to be able to raise our own children, and we're doing that. So we're experiencing things that we wouldn't normally get to experience. I personally am not much of a traveler, but we've been to Florida with plexus. We've been to Maui with plexus. Dusty's fixing to go to Washington, D.C. with plexus. She's actually been to Maui twice. And just the, you know, I sitting there at Maui, and you want to just talk about the company for just a second. I was sitting at Maui, and I was looking, I said, you know, if I had to have a job, I think I'd want to work at Plexus. They take such good care of their employees and their ambassadors. It's just amazing to me. Just, I mean, it's like they don't, you know, whatever they experience as far as success, they want their ambassadors to experience as well. You know, they have these trips are not just, you know, cheap hotels. They're not Motel 6s. They're all very nice resort type hotels. And it's just a wonderful experience, a great company. Not to mention, you know, the health testimonies of thousands of people, or, you know, I guess thousands, and there's Wacy. Thousands of people, and sorry, I lost my train of thought. Anyways, I'll quit there. You know, I guess I want to go ahead and introduce the newly Emerald Ambassador, Abby Jo.
Thank you. Thank you guys for having me on the call. I'm so excited to do this. My name is Abby Jo Hildebrand, and I'm 22 years old, and I am an Emerald Ambassador. My journey started with, well, I guess April of 2013, because that's when my mom started the products. So I was very reluctant to start. I was a college student. I was a waitress. I lived at home. I didn't have enough money to live on my own. I was in x-ray school, and she comes home with this plexus stuff. And I was like, okay, great for you, you know. And then they approached me about taking the products, and I was just like pretty much everyone else. I was a big skeptic, didn't think it would work. I didn't need to lose weight. I was barely 20 at the time. Started taking the products, loved the products, and then they started urging me to join for the business because they were making pretty good money at that time. And again, I was barely 20. Nobody wants to listen to a 20-year-old talk about weight loss, health stuff. You know, nobody could see mine were non-scale victories. So nobody could physically see my plexus success. And so finally, they talked me into it in August of 2013. And I just went as quickly as I could. I decided to go all in, started posting on Facebook. Next thing I knew, I was meeting amazing people. I was going up in the ranks. In March of 2014, I was able to buy myself, I don't have any kids. I guess I'm different from everyone else that's on this call. I think I'm the only one that doesn't have kids. And I'm not married, but I did get to buy myself a baby, and that was my Mustang GT. And her name is Gretchen, and she's awesome. And Plexus completely paid for her. And that was in March of 2013. So that's been a dream car of mine for a long time. And then I graduated the program, the X-ray program, in May 2014, quit my X-ray job in July to move out. I moved to Colorado, and then I moved back home to Kansas, and then I bought my own house. And I've just been doing what every 22-year-old's dream is, just whatever I want, pretty much. I get to meet amazing people. I've made so many lifelong friendships that are just invaluable. I mean, they're just amazing. They're just priceless. And the money has really been life-changing for me. Instead of worrying about going to school and finding a stable job that will pay my bills, I can actually start looking to invest my money, and I can start dreaming for my future. And that's not a luxury that a lot of 22-year-olds get to have. Most of them are just looking to get by. And my favorite part about this is that anybody can do it. There is nothing super special about me. I just decided to do this, and then I just went for it. And so there's no qualifications that you have to have. That's my absolute favorite part, is everybody can take part in this, and everybody can make a great income with this. So that was really a lot faster than I thought it was going to be, but that's about all I have to say. So I am going to introduce my amazing friends and my level 1, and 2, Ron Lindley, Inland Ambassador, and Kara, Senior Ruby.
Blah, 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 blah. Did you get a little tongue-tied there, dear?
Hi, guys.
Hey, good evening, everybody. We are actually driving home from Wichita from a Plexus meeting as we speak. So we pulled over here so we didn't have a wreck. And our Plexus testimony starts in August of 13, when that young lady that just spoke came to our house, twisted our arms at our kitchen table and said, "You've got to do this or else." We had known her for a day or two. Now, really, August of 13, we started the products. Didn't take care of but a day or two. She loved them. And I had always said, I'm too busy to do anything else, any other business, because I've been in retail all my life. About 20 years ago, I started buying investment properties. So we have several houses, and we pretty much do what we want to do when we want to do it. But I'll honestly say in 24 months, we were making more money with Plexus than I ever have in my entire life with investment properties, in retail, or anything. That's 24 months. I would have loved to have had this opportunity when I was Abby Jo's age. I can just fathom where she will be in 30 years. It's beyond remarkable. My wife is a senior Ruby. I just went Emerald in September, or in August. Barely missed Maui, but we'll be there with you next year, Abby. This is just a beyond belief opportunity. Most people don't realize what they're going to get for their $34.95 annual membership. It's just remarkable. Wouldn't you agree, honey?
Definitely, yes.
You want to input something here?
I'll just say that, we didn't see the vision in the very beginning. We just wanted to take the products for a little bit, and we started getting some customers and some ambassadors, and we started getting checks. And Ron, being the business-minded person that he is, researched the comp plan in and out and said, this is genius. This is real, and we're going to try it. And so we just went all in, and it has been the best decision we have ever made.
I would have to say, about a month into the products, we went to Abby Jo's parents' meeting, and because I'm kind of blunt, I asked her dad, Terry, I said, Terry, tell me, how much are you making? I knew they'd been in the business about 5 or 6 months, and he rattled off a figure that sounded way too good to be true. I said, well, show me. He showed me, and so then that's when I really started picking the comp plan apart. what most people don't realize, there is very few companies that will share their profits with everybody within the company. And our point system, our profit sharing system, is the very best and the fairest way for anybody to get paid. And we're all helping each other. So stick with it. It's fabulous. And we'll toss it back to the one and only Dusty Duncan.
Oh, thank you guys so much. I appreciate you pulling over on the side of the road. I knew you guys had a meeting tonight, but it means the world to me that you pulled over and gave your stories. We just love you to death. Guys, thank you all. Jimmy Lee, Jeannie, Joe, Nikki, Derek, and Abby, and Ron and Kara. I couldn't have asked for a better group to be on tonight to give your plexus stories. Everybody's testimony is amazing in their own right. You're all working towards amazing goals in life, and you're well on your way. And I cannot wait to see where the next 20 years takes us all, because we all know our rockin' company is setting us up for that kind of longevity and much, much more. Our grandchildren's grandchildren are going to be enjoying the benefits from this rockin' company. So, guys, I want you to know, if you're a guest on this call, please get back with the ambassador that invited you to listen to it, because the amazing opportunity that we have here is just, it's bar none the best I've ever seen. And anybody can do this. You heard from all walks of life tonight, and you heard all their success stories going in the right direction. Guys, I'm just going to say this. If you walk away from this opportunity, you're walking away from changing your own life. You're walking away from changing other people's lives, and you're walking away from changing your children's lives. The opportunity with Plexus is real. The opportunity to bless others is real, and the opportunity to change your own personal life is real. We are all blessed by Plexus, and we love it like no other. So you guys have a great night, and be blessed.